This is a Fields Auto Works Cardinal, and here's a Cardinal proving that when every second counts. Its pull rod suspension really makes it stick, shaving seconds off of lap times. 7 Spot is planning a webinar to explore the secrets of pull rod suspension with Fields Auto Works, and to introduce ourselves to the topic, let's head over to Fields and have a chat with Ethan Samuel. Hi, Ethan.
Right. How's it going, Jim?
Not going live, actually. We're just recording this, but
Right.
that's cool. I am so excited because what a great thing you guys got happening there. You've got things that touch my heart, and then other things that touch them even more, and then you go off the deep end at the same time.
That's kind of the plan. Trying to attack all those far off things, but making something that's accessible to everyone. That's not so scary, right? Getting people on track and keeping them on track without the huge cost of maintenance and the scary things of wait times and things you deal with from a lot of these other cars that you go with. So,
yeah. Well, I like the fact that you can do it component wise, and that's fabulous. I mean, I have a kit that I put together 18 years ago.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's okay. A Hayabusa powered 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still pretty quick, but like me, it's getting a little long in the tooth.
yeah, that's a pretty. The Hayabusa motors are a lot of fun. Very high revving screamers.
Oh yeah, like I always say, it's getting long in the tooth, but it's still quick enough to keep the girls screaming.
For sure. We've actually had a few customers come to us and entertain the idea of doing some sort of motorcycle engine in the Cardinal body and things like that, because of its weight and where it sits. It is possible. It is possible to do, but we found that the EcoBoost really fits in there very well and provides the level of performance and reliability that people need.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Now, I'm interested in the TRZ, now that you mentioned that lightweight package. I mean, tell me a bit about what's happening with that, because I know nothing about it.
Yeah, so the TRZ is a little new. We just started releasing information about the TRZ. Essentially, the TRZ is, if you want to take an easy way to look at it, is the open cockpit version of our Cardinal. Mm-hmm. So it is going to be on, the Cardinal is on what we call our Series 200 chassis.
Okay.
And it's going to be on that same chassis. So it's going to offer that same level of performance, the same options that you can kind of get in the Cardinal chassis, but in an open cockpit design.
Wow. I mean, it looks so much different. I mean, I didn't, when you told me that it's on the same chassis, I thought, wow, really?
Yeah, they're on the same chassis. It just gives people, so a lot of folks like that open cockpit feel, especially if they're coming from something like a Radical or something along those lines.
Yeah,
so it gives people that, as well as a little cheaper cost to entry. It's a little bit cheaper to manufacture, a little less parts, and so we've decided to expand in that route. And I think the takeaway from that too is, in the future we plan on using that Series 200 chassis to expand into maybe other forms. So we'll have to keep a lookout for what we got cooking in the background.
Yeah, well, and of course you got this. Am I saying it right? The Scioto.
The Scioto, yeah, the Scioto.
There we go. That's off the deep end.
Yeah, that is your all-out top of the line. You are looking for not only just a crazy looking machine, but a really high performing machine for, I mean, a quarter of the cost of the kind of cars it's going to compete with, or that does compete with. That is our most bespoke chassis, as in terms of current orders that we're seeing, and then things that people are doing with them. I mean, we've got one that's ordered now with Lamborghini Murcielago V12.
Yeah,
we won with a 458 Challenge motor. We do offer it with the standard LS, but the options are kind of endless. Whatever you want to do, and how far do you want to go, we can probably make that happen.
Wow. I mean, like I say, it's off the deep end, and I'm interested in finding out, with regard to doing some stuff with you guys. I mean, we had talked about doing a webinar, and I had mentioned to you the best way to do a webinar is you have to promote it in advance. And I'm not
Yeah.
suggesting you guys should reach into your pocketbooks and start printing paper. That's not what I'm suggesting.
Right.
but I do think that it from our perspective at Seven Spot, it works really well if we can do some sort of small types of vignettes, if you will,
Yeah.
to promote the idea. And that's kind of like what we're doing right now, once in a while, just getting together and having a chit chat about what's coming and what you got happening.
Yeah, that would be great. We could definitely put something together and maybe do a little walk around, maybe have a little chit chat in the background of you know, kind of me
from time to time. And I know that there are guys. I mean, Eric Streeter is one of our administrators on Seventh Spot, so I know that he volunteered to do some work with you if you're amenable to it, just to have a chit chat with you about driving the Cardinal.
Yeah, we'd definitely be open to it. We've got some events coming up too where we're looking to actually get the cars out and have people see them out on track and possibly ride in them and things like that. So we can definitely see how we can work those kinds of things into something that we can use to publicize a little bit. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of your current audience is a lot of our target market, right? People that are interested in kit cars and building their own cars and things like that, and old racers and all sorts
bashing away in the shed.
Right. It's all one and the same.
But I think, it's for the future. If we could just get like a 10 minutes to 15 minutes with your iPhone or your Android, walking around the floor, just to explain what it is you do, and then we'll build from there.
Oh yeah, 100% happy to do that. We actually do invite customers out to the shop to give tours and give them a look at how things are made and what things look like in different stages. So I would definitely be able to kind of go through and just kind of record you a short video doing the same kind of thing. Yeah, that won't be a problem at all. I can definitely get to that. I know I'm not necessarily in the shop for the next rest of this week, but I'll be around there next week. So
absolutely no rush on this, because as I said, you've got a production facility that is booming.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, how many times have we tried to get together? And finally, I said, you can run, but you can't hide. We're doing it today.
Yeah, no, I apologize for that. It's been a crazy few weeks for sure.
No, that's a good kind of apology to have. Okay, well, why don't we wind it up? Quite frankly, this was just an opportunity to say hi, and then set kind of. You can have your look at your playing field, and I'll take a look at my playing field, and somewhere in between, we'll probably get together and put something together, and then just see the direction it goes. But I can tell you that it'll be a terrific audience for developing a webinar on what you're doing, because, I mean, talking about suspension, there's a lot of guys, who got the low cost build your own sports car for 250 pounds. Have no idea, right? None.
10 years later. We run into a lot of those too. We run into a lot of our customer base comes from, like they bought a factory 5 something or other 3 or 4 years ago, and they just never got around to actually finishing the project. Right now, they want to get out.
Well, that I think I mentioned to you, we're doing a series of YouTube videos, and it's doing remarkably well. It's doing great, but it's all about that. This poor soul purchased a kit from Tiger Sports Cars 20 years ago, and it never got built.
Wow. See, that's a great segue into why it makes a lot more sense for us to sell you our full turnkey cars.
Oh, right? Yeah, and I talked to a lot of manufacturers just like you guys, and I talked about the demographics. Who's buying the stuff? And the young kids are not as interested in getting in there and building a kit. They'll apply body panels. God, who knows why, but but that's what they're into, and they'll tune it. But the demographics of guys my age who maybe retired or getting on towards retirement, maybe have a few extra shekels laying around and they want a car. Build me a car.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And there's still versatility in it too, right? Like we don't also offer the cars as a kit to build per se, but we do offer them in what we call a turnkey roller. So you turn the key on, the dash lights up, the horn works. You would essentially think that the car run and drive, but there's no drivetrain in it.
Okay,
so for some folks who want to buy it without the drivetrain and do their own thing on that end, that is an option for them.
Yeah.
Most folks end up just having us put the whole drivetrain together and then just coming and driving the car home, essentially.
Yeah. Sounds great.
But yeah, I think it kind of appeals to both of those audiences. And actually, a note on the TRZ that we were talking about earlier, we're going to offer that in a very, very, very base entry model, just for folks who want to keep that initial cost down.
Yeah.
Basically delivered as body off of the frame.
Yeah.
So it allows them to do the finishing touches, put the body on the frame, get it painted, do whatever they want to do. And because a lot of folks do like to have a little touch and put a little bit of their own sweat equity into their project, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt on that. You mentioned about the skin. I mean, I'm going to ask you, what is the skin like on the TRZ? Is it a fiberglass or is it carbon fiber? I'm presuming on the Scioto, it's carbon fiber. Is that
it's like a carbon fiber composite on that guy. They're all composite type bodies, fiberglass. Mix that, all super lightweight, but mostly like a fiber. You can picture it like a fiberglass body on the other two.
Yeah.
Scioto is more of a carbon fiber composite, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Body there, but they're all relatively, oddly enough, they're all relatively very close in weight.
Oh, really?
They're all sitting right under 2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
I think the Cardinal sits at about 1,750 dry. And I think we were trying to stay around that 6 horsepower per pound area to really emphasize the fact that this car was made for a purpose. And while it can be street legal and people do drive them to and from the track, and we've got some people basically daily driving them
and get pulled over by the police on their way home from the track.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can get them insured and you can get them with license plates on them, and ours right now is plated, legal in the state of Ohio, and it's insured. And I was driving it on the street a couple days ago.
That's too cool. Too cool.
It makes a big difference when you don't have to whip out the trailer and the truck and do all that. You can just drive to the track, have fun, and go home. Oh yeah,
yeah. So. Well, Ethan, I'm gonna say, why don't we just put a bow on it for now?
Yeah.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and send you over some of the stuff we have now as far as pictures and videos, just for you to look at. And then I'll work next week to kind of get maybe a walk around video for you, and we'll touch base then.